Hang on a second. Go this way, or if you prefer this one, you know what we're doing. Okay, so here we are. Jim Adkins here from Jim Adkins White Tiger Martial Arts on the quarantine week, or weeks or whatever. I hope you guys are doing okay. This is for all my students who are looking to train this week. The things I want you to focus on. Of course, when I say train, you know you're supposed to be doing your exercises mentally, physically, and spiritually every week, every day if you can. And I'm sorry, I'll get closer because I know it sounds like a tunnel in here. And so mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, intellectually, get your work done, and then add these to your workouts, okay? So we're facing blue belt, green belt, and brown belt right now. I'll make them quick. I don't have a partner with me, so I'm using Robert. But if you have further questions, good morning, sir. If you have further questions, please contact me privately, and I'll try and do them at home and stuff for you too, okay? So blue belt, we're going to be looking at mass attack, so more than one attacker. We're going to talk about theories and concepts that you're going to work on there, and what you should be practicing with your mass attack techniques, not just learning them the way they're written, but we'll go through that in a second. Also takedowns and throws and the difference between there, and that's a simple one. Green belt, we're going to discuss weapons a little bit, because you know how I am private about that, but you should know where you're at working with that. And then brown belt, bridging and grafting is what you should be focused on, so that gets you to self-expression, which is how you become a real black belt. Okay, and then I'll come back and do a little bit of chin na, or maybe I'll just throw it on the end of this video too. Bing, you should have your link to the chin na videos by now. And still, I'm having some issues with Vimeo, but excuse me, having issues with the where they're at. But let me just what the videos will take you through when you order my videos and you actually finally get them. I'm just going to send up hard copies so we do. We start with finger chin na, we go to hand and knuckle chin na, we go to wrist chin na, elbow chin na, shoulder chin na, neck chin na, hip, waist, knee, and ankle chin na. So we work our way throughout the body. And chin na is not just the manipulation of joint locks. Okay, so it's not just like the jujitsu or the stuff that you're rolling around the floor. That's not just that. It's a whole art and science in itself of seizing, sealing, pinching, twisting, tearing, breaking, and I think that's it. Joints, blood flow, muscles, tendons, and airflow. So it's a complete system. There are cavity press as well as there are pressure point presses. There are breaks, holds, locks, twists, tears, turns that are not a permanent solution. Let me repeat that. Unless you're ending the person's existence, what you do with your chin na is not a permanent self-defense situation. Bones and breaks heal, but that doesn't, what I mean by permanent is it doesn't stop the person from trying to hurt you. So if you're in a real self-defense situation, and this is not sport, okay, this is not for sport. Maybe I should have made my own video. Maybe this will become anyway, here we go. It's not for sport, it's for self-defense. So what you'll get in the videos, I'll try to keep it brief, finger chin na. If you take your own fingers while you're isolated at home and you bend them a certain way, you're going to find that they don't want to bend a certain way. When you take and you separate them from each other, you find that there's a little discomfort. Well, that discomfort causes a motion. That motion creates an opportunity, the opportunity to take advantage of the next motion, or completely move your partner or opponent in the direction that you need to see fit. It doesn't stop them from moving. If they're weak and they stop, bonus. But I assume that people that try to attack you are probably not weak. If you end up with a weak attacker, that's their fault. It's over. If you get somebody who's really trying to hurt you and their mind is set on hurting you, they will not stop until you stop them. Chin na is there to create opportunities for you to take advantage of their motion. Simple. If they reach, or if they grab, or if they're trying to wrestle or lock you up and they give you a limb or a joint, you got them. If they grab a hold of you, you got them. All you've got to do is find a connection point and move. So to do finger chin na, find, and in Kenpo, you'll find this, there's a lot of wrist grabs, and I've heard the jokes, oh, if you ever grab by the wrist, or the handshake, you got it. Well, yes, you do, okay? And Jerry Cook's got a good video of the Shaolin handshake that's funny. It's a good one to watch, and he's got some pretty cool chin on there. But anyway, if you take your fingers and just the finger joints and you position your hand above the knuckle and you push, you'll find that the body will move based on, and I don't mean push the hand, I mean shift, you pull and push away. So this is the motion, okay, with all the fingers. I'm not trying to push the arm. I'm moving it in space so that the joints will lock and cause the next joint to move and relieve tension. Does that make sense? You can do this on your own yourself. Ninja used Junon Taisao for this actual practice and application of, as they learn to massage and loosen up their joints, they use this to discover. Going this way, not so much. Going this way, activity, right? So that's finger chin na. Wrist chin na, we have Japanese hand. You have that lock where you bend the wrist, bend the elbow, and if you lock and turn, so I'm pushing, I'm pulling, and I'm twisting at the same time, that wrist chin na will take somebody down. All you got to do, take a punch, get the gun, get a knife, and rotate that wrist back, and you'll see some of my other videos where this works, okay, and how it applies. Once you get past that into elbow chin na, there's the arm lock, but really an arm bar, it's not. They're going to move against it, right? If they move to get out of it, and you have shoulder chin na. So if you're focused on one joint, as opposed to the alleviation principle of the other joints in motion, you're missing the whole diet, the whole academy of marionette playing with your opponent. A good neck chin na would be encircling arms, or what do we call it now? The new one where they had, even when they try to tackle you, they get tackled, you get to the other side of the head, turn them around. Even leaping crane when you start the neck chin na, or leap of death when you start the neck chin na. Dance of death is a great hip, ankle, and knee chin na, right? So if you know dance of death, those are chin na moves that you can use. And learning to, when you grab the toes and the ankle in dance of death, and you go to twist them over and you learn to cradle the foot, you know that you're not just turning them in one direction. Once their body starts to move in that direction and you torque in the other direction on the knee, you have the opposite rotation against the joints. That's chin na in a sense. It's not cavity press, pinch, pill, or press, or seal. You know, a good neck sealing would be what they call that rear naked choke now, which is neck sealing chin na. So there's a lot more on the videos. That's just an introduction. Let's get back to blue belt. Okay, blue belt, mass attack. In blue belt, when you have more than one opponent, remember the idea is to get out of the center of the circle. You don't want to stand in the middle of the circle and fight like in Hollywood unless you want to be a Hollywood movie star. That's okay. It looks cool, right? And it works from time to time. If they enter your circle close enough and you use the universal pattern effectively and you become the fan of motion, you know, every forward and reverse motion has its benefit. So as I'm moving to strike this person here, I extend my circle to include this person, I can strike both of them at the same time. So mass attack, if they move in close enough and you extend your circles around your corners, you can speed up motion and hit more than one person at a time. Got it? Remember the rule, get out of the center of the circle. So as you apply the technique, as it's written, and you start to move through the movement of the technique, find the spot in which you get out of the center of the circle. Make sure that it happens. If it's not built into the technique, create an opportunity to do so. That's blue belt. The difference between a takedown and a throw. When you get to the point in a technique where you take a person down, if you're still connected, it's a takedown. If you let them go, it's a throw. Understand the difference. Okay, green belt. Could have been more prepared for you, right? Where you carry your weapon is very important. So this week, what I want you to do is, along with practicing your techniques against opponents with weapons, I want you to put whatever weapon you're working on, and whether it's your knife, your stick, your gun, whatever, and I want you to think about where you carry them. and how you deploy them. This will give you insight as to other people's carry and deployment. Does that make sense? So put the weapon in it. Now, don't go practicing with a real blade. Don't go practicing with a real knife and mess up and get excited. I want you to live. Mr. Motley says, sharing with my students too, so they have better be watching. Right on. Okay, so when you have weapons training and you're working on handgun, extend your handgun to include rifle, short range rifle. I mean, if they're long range, you better hide. Okay, we'll discuss that later. But if they have a rifle close to you, learning the mechanics of how they hold, how they deploy, and the dangerous parts of that rifle are just as important as the handgun. We talked about this before. I shared this with you, and I'm not going to share a whole lot more. Getting to the outside of that handgun and over to control the weapon is paramount. Does it mean it's the only way to do it? No. But is it the best way to do it? Let me say this. There is no wrong attempt, but there is a correct way to execute, and you will find it through practice. So let's just take the knife, for example. Where do you carry a knife? A lot of people will put them deep in their pocket. Some people will use the clip and put it on their pocket. Some in the back pocket, some in the front pocket, some on their weak side, some on their strong side. Deploying that weapon from those positions might take time. It might not. But you won't know until you actually practice doing it. Then, why do you deploy it? Don't pull it out and show it off to people. Weapons are meant to be felt, not seen. And I hate to say it this way, but somebody that's good with their weapon, you will not see it coming unless you're paying real close attention. Sometimes it may be too late. Does that mean you're dead? No. It means that you may have been stuck, slashed, or shot at, but we don't give up. There's a difference between blocking, covering, and recovering. And I'm not talking about cover, recover. I'm talking about you get hit, you get stabbed, you get cut. What do you do next? You're recovering. We've talked about this in green, we talked about it in brown, we talked about it in black. So as you practice your weapons today and you have this technique and you think, okay, as I go to do this move, how vulnerable am I? And while you do it, and then you see your opponent do it, and you know, I got it. Probably not practical, but if they ever attack in that direction, my cover or block, my recovery method and attitude says that I got them. And remember to always take the weapon. If you can't get the weapon, shut the computer down as quick as you can, then take the weapon. Tell them thank you later, but get it. It's yours. They brought it for you. I don't recommend, if you're not trained, I do not recommend fighting against a weapon. Run. Get to a point of cover. Get to a point where you have a weapon. If it's a short range weapon, get a longer range weapon. Makes sense, right? But if you throw something, remember you only got it once. Now they have it. So if you're throwing rocks at a knife, you better be good. All right. I hope that helps with green belt. Brown belt, bridging. And I wish I had a partner or opponent, but you know what it means. Insert, prefix, or suffix. Insert means to put it in the middle. Prefix means to put it at the beginning. Suffix means to put it at the end. These are what-if ideas. If he punches and I move to do 5 swords and he punches with his left hand, I go here, and as I start, I forgot to do outward defense on the elbow. If I start to do 5 swords and he throws that left punch, I can change this into fatal deviation, finish fatal deviation if I wanted to, get to the end, or even snapping twig, and when I get to the end of this, come back into 5 swords if I want to. I could change it right into that outward block and do outward defense. Mr. Durant, outward defense. Block, kick, chop. Not sword of destruction, outward defense. Wait. Block, chop, kick, outward defense. Sword of destruction. Man, you get confused. Sword of destruction, right? Boom. Okay. Rearrangement. So insert what I want. When you insert, it's not a suffix. What that means is you don't start a technique. They give you a different stimulation point or another attack in the middle of it, and you do a different technique, and it's over. Insert means to come back and finish the technique you started with at the point you left off, or as close to it. So if I start 5 swords, and right here, they punch me with their left hand, boom, and I catch it, and I bounce out, and I roll, and I go into crossing talons on this side. When I get to here, I was an eye shot where I got interrupted. I get to here and stand him back up. I might want to poke his head and finish the technique from there by swords. Okay, that's the challenge. Insert is my favorite. Start a technique, put another one inside it, finish where you left off. Then try multiples. Start a technique, start the next technique, put another one inside that, finish the second one, then finish the first one. None of the death techniques work that way as an insert, because you kill them and they fall on the ground and you have to pick them back up to finish your technique. All right, good. I hope that helps. If you need more, reach out. All you've got to do is ask, and I will come on. I would much rather do a quick video than sit and type all day long. I don't have a opponent at home, so I hope you're using your imagination. I love you guys. You're going to get through this. Black belt, you know what specifically you're working on. So let's review purple belt, rearrangement theories, orange belt, stances, Wu Bu Chuan, and stance strike congruency. Yellow belt was blocking set, delayed sort of destruction, outward defense, inward defense. You gotcha? Green belt, weapons. Where do you carry them? Okay, how do you deploy them, and for what purpose? Let me review that real quick because I got past it. If you pull a knife and you're going to use a knife, which way are you effectively going to use that knife so that you find out what other people know? Okay, and we've done knife drills, and you know which ones work and what targets work. Slicing somebody's coat may scare them, but listen, when you're doing this, you're really just practicing your coordination, okay? Slicing like this is just a coordination drill. If they're wearing heavy coats and materials, if they stick their hands up, you might be able to get an attack. Realistically, we prefer direct assault for outcome rather than flash and show, and you know that. So when you deploy and it's unseen, give other people credit for the same type of an attack and learn to deal with that too. All right? Mass attack and takedowns. Blue belt, get out of the center of the circle. Find opportunities to manipulate, move, finish, and get out. Break, destroy, you know what targets are important, 26 moves. And Chen Na, Mr. Ye, Bing Ye, I hope that helped. I will get more specific as Mr. Vowinkle couldn't make it today, so, and the videos will become available, I promise you. All right, you guys, I love you. Reach out, ask questions, okay? I know it was kind of quick. I hope you got enough. Have a great day. I think we're going to get an announcement here in a couple minutes, right? History in the making.